Hello, welcome along to episode 184 of Adventures in Pop, and my name is Simon Jacobs. Let's get straight into it. I want to talk this time about song structure, about pop song structures. We talked quite recently about arrangement, and we talked about how you make sure that everything in your mix deserves to be there, and how you take stuff out if it's inaudible and not doing anything to help, and how you try to avoid making a great big mix soup, which I'm certainly guilty of in the past of doing, probably quite regularly, and how you got to try and be disciplined about what you include on your song, in your track, how you layer it up, and try not to end up with a great big stew of indeterminate flavour. But this time I'm more interested in structure. So I'm talking here about how songs get put together. How long do you wait before you get to your chorus? I mean, some people believe there are right and wrong answers to this. I think I would rather be a little bit more nuanced. I think it can depend on lots of things, but it's stuff like how many different bits of tune, bits of melody do you have in your song? How often does it change from one bit to the next? Do you have two different bits of melody? Do you have three different bits of melody? How often do you repeat the chorus? How long is the chorus? How long's the song? All of those kind of things. How long's the intro? Make a really huge difference to the the outcome, the output, obviously. And I don't think we've really tackled this subject before. And it's come up a little bit in songwriting, a little bit with CJ when we're writing Goldhawk Fox's songs, is I think sometimes we have a very different idea of what, what the structure could be or should be, even to the point where we're not quite sure which one's the verse, which one's the chorus, how and when should we repeat this section or this section, and these things are really really important, and it's probably worth just reflecting a little bit on how other people do it. So what I want to do is I've taken a look at three absolutely gargantuan monster hit, I'd say classic pop songs from the last 10 years. I know we're a little bit close to it still, but three gigantic pop songs from the last 10 years, and just kind of taking them apart a little bit to see how long's the intro, how many bits, as I say, how many pieces of music, how many sections, how long does it take to get to the chorus? Do they have anything in common, these three quite separate but brilliant songs? What can we learn from them, if anything? The three songs I looked at were Flowers by Miley Cyrus. So this came out beginning of 2023, beginning of last year. I think it got to number one in about 40 different countries. I mean, it was so huge. It was the biggest hit of last year globally. And it's sensationally simple. We'll come back and have a look at that. Second one, going back a bit further, Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, another outstanding kind of, all-conquering hit. This actually is, as we speak, the most streamed individual track ever on Spotify. So, it's got good credentials. And then further back, going back just over 10 years, I think it was 2012 or 13, Happy by Pharrell Williams. Again, just such an enormous hit all over the world. Best-selling single of that year, 2013, I think it was, and is in the top 10 all-time best-selling singles in UK history. So these are three really phenomenal songs. I should say, before I get into them, just in case I forget, I think they are brilliant. I think all three of these are kind of magnificent in every respect, in the songwriting, in the performance in each respect, and in the production. You can't really fault these. And, it's no mistake then that they've turned out to be such stellar successes. You don't achieve success like that by having an okayish song that's been quite well produced. these are really good songs. So, what do we learn from taking a look at, some of the constructs of these three particular tracks? We'll start with Miley Cyrus and Flowers, and just bear in mind, I'm going to avoid actually playing you any of it, because obviously then I'll be in all sorts of trouble with YouTube, and life won't be worth living. So I'll just leave that to one side. Let's pretend we can hear Flowers by Miley Cyrus here in our heads, and I'll just talk you through a couple of things about this particular track. This is the song is 3 minutes 20 seconds. That's kind of perfect. It has about 7 seconds of intro, which is a bit of kind of noise as it gets itself ready to go. 7 seconds we can probably just about manage without, losing our concentration, losing the will to live before it gets started. I know that the intros are very short these days, and people's attention span is about 11 nanoseconds. I don't even know what a nanosecond is, but it's a very small amount of time. So 7 seconds of intro, then in it comes. And the thing that's interesting about this, Miley Cyrus Flowers, it basically has what I can see as 4 different bits of song. It's got a verse, it's got a bridge, it has a chorus, and then it has a kind of a post-chorus la 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 dancing around on the chorus a bit. And then it goes back and does them again. But four sections is quite interesting, because one of the things that you will hear people say these days is that songs are getting written more and more without any changing in them, or without a bridge, or it's not always quite so clear where the chorus is, because actually the same chords are being played throughout the whole song. Personally, I've got nothing against that, because you can still do interesting things that make it very clear that this bit's a verse bit and this bit's a chorus bit. And if you want to find a great example of that, I have talked about it before. But just in case you're a big Girls Aloud fan, Untouchable by Girls Aloud came at the end of their career. Basically, has 3 or 4 chords that just go on and on and on in a repetition for the whole song, with the odd straight extra chord thrown in once or twice. But that's essentially it. So, Flowers, fantastically simple track, and as I say, it just has a verse, and all these 4 sections are really quite quick. So the verse, when it comes in, is about 16 seconds long. Then it goes straight into the bridge. The bridge is about 10 seconds long. Then into the chorus. The chorus is 29 seconds long. So interestingly, the chorus is probably, when they're writing it, they probably thought, this chorus is so ridiculously good, we can afford to make the chorus longer than the verses, longer than the bridge, longer than the post-chorus section, which is a further 7 or 8 seconds only. So by the time you've had a verse, a bridge, a chorus, and the post-chorus, you're only a minute into the song. That takes 1 minute. So then we come round and we do it again. We have verse 2, again about, I'd say, what's that, 16, 17 seconds of verse 2, 9 or 10 seconds of bridge 2, and then another 28, 29 seconds of chorus, and then the same thing post-chorus. By which time you've now reached about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So where do we go next? We have a bridge again, and then we have another chorus, and then we have another post-chorus. Now, so the bridge takes us to about 2 minutes, 27 seconds. There's a chorus, it's the same 28, 29 seconds. The long bit in this takes us to 3 minutes. Then there's the post-chorus, and then the song's finished. So it certainly is repetitious. Certainly we hear the chorus in full 3 times, and the chorus is quite long each time. And each of the bits, I should say, the verse and the bridge and the chorus and the post-chorus, each of them separately are terrifically good. And there it goes, it's just verse, bridge, chorus, post-chorus, verse, bridge, chorus, post-chorus, and then a bit of fiddling around at the end, bridge, chorus, post-chorus. We're done. So highly repetitious, very simple, but there are pieces. So the idea that there are only 1 or 2 kind of sections in pop songs these days, I would say that's an evidence here that no, that's not really the case. Let's have a look at Blinding Lights by Weekend, the most streamed song of all time. Interestingly, this is also 3 minutes and 20 seconds, exactly the same. It has a much, much longer intro because it has an intro that includes a whole synthy riff. Da da dum dum, that whole thing that sounds a little bit like they're just about to play Aha Take On Me, which, yeah, we won't say anything. So the verse doesn't even start till about 28 seconds in, and then he does two verses. Each of those verses is about 8 or 9 seconds. Then there's a bridge, about 10 seconds, and then a chorus. Like Flowers, the chorus is longer than the verses and the bridge. The chorus is about 23, 24 seconds. And then he's back into repeating that big synth intro riff, and that becomes a really important part of the song. So it's something that Flowers certainly doesn't have, but Blinding Lights does have, is a big knockout synth riff, which is part of it's integrated into the song. So as the song repeats, round it comes again. So it's there at the beginning, it's there straight after the chorus, and then we go back to one verse this time. So instead of having two verses, one verse, then straight to the bridge, straight back to the chorus. And then The Weeknd introduces a new section. It's not very long, but about 10 or 11 seconds of a middle eight, we would call that. Just, something slightly different. And then we're back into the chorus. We're back into that repeat intro riff, and we're back into the chorus. So altogether, Mr. Weeknd has got his chorus happening 4 times. He's got that big riff happening right at the very beginning, 2, 3, certainly 3 times, maybe even 4 times. And there you go. I mean, again, lots of repetition, but, he's bringing in a mid-8. So he's got verse, bridge, chorus, the intro riff, and a middle 8. Several different, 5 different sections of songwriting has gone into that. And by the way, both Flowers and Blinding Lights, I think, were written by a whole bunch of people. So included the performer, but they didn't write this alone. So again, this does rather dispel the idea that there's a few chords and it just keeps going forever and ever. Happy by Pharrell is a little bit different. It's a bit longer, 2 minutes 52. I think he wrote this completely on his own, and I think he produces it and obviously performs it. So what we got here, basically, it's almost immediately right in. Then there's about 25 seconds of verse, followed by about call it 25 more seconds of chorus, and then back to 25 seconds of verse and 25 seconds of chorus. And then he's got a kind of a middle 8 thing, so it's like the verse but not quite the same. And then he's back to the chorus, and then this time when he gets to the chorus, he does the chorus twice. So we've got a good 50 seconds of chorus. Then he does that middle 8 versey thing again, and then the chorus twice. So the important thing about this is there are 3 different sections. He's got a verse, he's got a chorus, he's got a middle 8. The chorus comes round, and we know what that chorus is. Happy, la, la, la. I mean, it's so good. It's so infectious. He must have just thought, how can he have thought for a second anything other than this is going to be one hell of a monster hit? But the chorus actually comes around 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 times in the space of 3 minutes and 52 seconds. So he really knew how to milk a really good thing. He really knew how to put his best foot forward, because it is just shockingly good. And he's certainly going to make sure that by the end of hearing the whole track one time, you'll be left in no doubt of how good his songwriting and production and performance is of Happy. Because boy, you hear that chorus over and over and over, and actually it gets bigger each time. There's it's more and more people are singing it as the song progresses, and oddly, this is what makes it so brilliant. Oddly, you don't get tired of it. Every time it comes around, you think, oh, I love that, and that's a rare thing that he's managed to put out there. So what do we learn from this? I think I would say the chorus is blooming important, and actually I would say also that it's really important that the name of the track is incredibly simple and gets repeated over and over and over. So flowers, one word; blinding lights, two words; happy, one word. And you absolutely, if you heard these tracks the very first time, you would come out and you would say, yeah, that song must be called Happy. So yeah, I think it's quite obvious what these songs are called, and I'm sure that the songwriters had the title in mind as they were writing it, so they could give it that emphasis, and they could give those choruses that, in all three cases, are absolutely brilliant, loads and loads of repetition. So I guess what I take from this is, yeah, these are very efficient songs. They're in, out very quickly. They've got short sections that repeat and repeat and repeat, and every bit of those sections is a winner. So, anyway, what I'd like you to do now, and what I'd like me to do, is to go away and write another Flowers, another Blinding Light, another Happy, obviously your way, nothing to do with those, but, with the same unbelievably high standard of pop sensibility. So that's our job now. We've got to go away and do something as good, or if not better, than those. Will you do that? Thank you. We'll leave it there. All I want to say is go listen to So Here's to You by Gold Hawk Foxes. It's out now, and there will be another single coming soon. Go and listen to You Do You, and the follow-up, which is called The Story Ends, from my new set of songs. There'll be another one coming along in October. And have a lovely weekend. Will you do that for me? Thank you. See you later. Bye-bye.